Hi, I'm Steve Atkin, Distinguished Engineer at IBM, and today I'm going to show you how you can translate captions files very quickly using the Globalization Pipeline service on IBM Bluemix. So before we jump into it, let's first set up the Globalization Pipeline service on IBM Bluemix. So go out to the IBM Bluemix catalog and go ahead and select the Globalization Pipeline service, and you can find that listed under the DevOps section of the Bluemix catalog. The next thing that you'll want to do is go ahead and create an instance of the Globalization Pipeline service. So go ahead and click Create. Now from the Globalization Pipeline service dashboard, we're going to need to set up credentials so that we can access the Globalization Pipeline service from some utilities that we're going to install later. So go ahead and click on the API Users tab. Now go ahead and click on New API User. Once you're here, you can fill in a display name and a comment. Under the type, be sure to select Administrator. I'm going to go ahead and just put my name in. And then click Save. Now you want to be sure to copy off these credentials. We're going to use these credentials later, so be sure to save them in a safe place. Now that we've configured the Globalization Pipeline service, we're going to go download some utilities that I've put together, and you can find them in the link below in the GitHub project. Once you do that, be sure to clone the repo and then run npm install. You'll also need to set up the credentials files. So earlier, we copied over the credentials for the Globalization Pipeline service. So what you'll want to do here is fill them into the file called g11n-credentials.json. So go ahead and do that. Now, to use the translator utility, we need to supply the file name that has our captions in it, and then we also need to put the source language of the captions file, and the target language we wish to translate the captions file into. And then there's an option here of specifying upload or download. The first time we call the utility, we're going to specify upload, so we can upload our captions information to the Globalization Pipeline service and have it translated for us. After we're done doing that, we can check on its status in the Globalization Pipeline dashboard, and then later we can use the download utility to download our captions in the language that we've asked for. So let's go see how we do that. Okay, so from the command line, we're going to type in node translator, and in my case, the name of the captions file I'm going to upload is findingnews.srt. And the source language of this captions file is in English, and I want to translate it into Spanish. So I'm going to pass in the upload parameter to upload the content to the Globalization Pipeline service. So here it'll just ask you to confirm, and then it'll upload the content to the Globalization Pipeline service. Now, let's return to the Globalization Pipeline service dashboard and click on the Bundles tab. Once we do that, we'll see all the bundles that are in our Globalization Pipeline instance. By default, when you call the utility, it'll create a bundle with the same name as the file. So let's go ahead and click on Finding News. Now you'll see here's our English source content that we uploaded, and then here's our Spanish translation. If we want to see the contents, we can just click on Spanish. And here you can see all the content has been translated. Now let's return to the command line, and we're going to run the utility again, except this time we'll keep all the options the same except for the last one. We'll specify download. And once again, it'll just ask us to confirm. And there you have it. We've downloaded the file. So let's go take a look at its contents. Okay, so now let's take a look at the contents of our captions file that's been translated into Spanish. So here you'll notice a few things. First of all, the content is in Spanish. Second, you'll see all of the line numbers have been put in for us, as well as the timing marks. Now, by default, when you download the file, it'll have the same name as the original source file, except it'll be appended with underscore followed by the language ID, so that you can quickly identify which language the captions file is in. Now let's return to the Globalization Pipeline dashboard, so I can point out two other great features. One thing that you can do is you can actually edit your machine translated content. So you can click on the action and then click Modify the translation. And then you can go in and make edits yourself if you'd like to. Another thing that you can do is ask for a professional review of your machine translated content. And you can do that by clicking on the Translation Requests tab and then filling out the information to complete a translation request. So there you have it. You can see how easy it is to translate captions files into other languages using the Globalization Pipeline service on IBM Bluemix.